Hi and welcome to another FSD Beta version 10 quick bits video. This is the first one since we have version 10. I've been using the system now for a couple of hours. I had my first impressions video out just to give, as the title said, first impressions, right? So I have a couple of more situations now that I have experienced, and I want to take you through them and highlight what I think has improved, and there is definitely improvements, and also highlight where there is still room for improvement. The system still makes mistakes. I want to keep things a little bit balanced. So with that said, let's get started with the first scenario. So let's get started with the protected left turn. I've done this before and it never really was a problem, but this time you will see when the light turns green, we turn left, and for whatever reason FSD Beta struggles. It might be because of the sun, I'm not sure, but you see it really takes this at a very funny angle. I didn't intervene here, but there was a bike behind me, and that guy for sure must have thought that I'm just on my way home from a party or something. This is the next interesting, I found, scenario. I've been following this white truck for quite some time. We're coming up here to a red light, and my car, in this almost a split second decides to go around to the right of this truck, and it felt really human. You could see it was doing it perfectly. It was pulling up to the right and everything, so that was actually great. Then the light turns green, and you will see it will go, and you could say, this maneuver that you will see now is also kind of human-like, right? We're going, and the truck is actually slower than us, and we basically turn into the left lane again. We didn't use the blinker this time, so I'm reporting that here. And again, here I'm not sure if this was really the intention to kind of go around that truck or not, but it definitely felt very human. So that was actually good to see. Here is another interesting scenario. We are leaving an off-ramp here, and we have to make a couple of lane changes in a short amount of time to get to the exit. So you can see the visualization is still FSD Beta. We're doing the first lane change. Now it switches to the production autopilot second lane change, and immediately a third lane change. So I don't know, this is interesting. I did it perfectly. Again, very human-like, how I would have done it, so that's great. I'm actually being told I shouldn't expect or assume the system does everything like humans, but I can't help it here. That's exactly how I would have done it, so that's great to see. And then again here we have to turn right, so we turn into the right turn lane. And yeah, it was interesting. It kind of felt like a mix between Navigate on Autopilot and FSD Beta, even though Elon confirmed that this version 10 is actually not, the Navigate on Autopilot is not on the same code as FSD Beta. Next scenario here, I'm waiting for a protected left turn, and it's actually kind of a sharp turn. It's 120 degrees or something like that, and the system is very confident. You can see it turns, no big hesitation or anything. And then here you can see it quickly wanted to turn right, and then it realized that this is probably not a drivable lane, and it stopped blinking immediately and stayed in the lane. So again, very good. Unlike the guy or gal who is passing me here on the right. So talking about human drivers, right? And we're going to see a similar situation coming up where FSD Beta handle it just fine. So here we're switching lane into the right lane because we have to go straight. And there is this red car in front of me here. And as soon as the light turns green, I guess the driver here is confused and realizes it needs to go into the right lane because there is a left lane only turn coming up, and kind of cuts in front of us. No problem. FSD Beta handles this beautifully here. I'll let this play out. I'm not going to fast forward because we're just coming up to the next scenario I want to show you, where FSD Beta actually makes a mistake. We have to turn right here in this upcoming right turn lane. The car is doing a great job going into that lane, so it's waiting, and then over here just confidently turns into that right turn lane. But watch the tentacle in front of the car, the path prediction. You can see it's starting to kind of switch between passing and not passing. And as soon as the bus in front starts moving, and I'm going to pause the video here once it's doing that, you will see my car will try to pass, and we'll have a look at that message that pops up. So here it's saying changing lanes away from cones. I haven't seen this message before, but for whatever reason the system here seems to think that there's cones that it has to get away from. I couldn't really find out what cones these could be. So if you see something here in this scenario that looks like cones, let me know in the comments. I haven't really been able to see it. Next we're going to look at a scene that happens every now and then. It used to happen in previous versions and is still present in version 10, which is picking the wrong lane. So this is a left turn only lane. We actually have to go straight. You can see the path prediction, it's jumping between going straight and turning left. And I'm waiting here for the light to turn green to see what the system's doing. And as soon as it turns green, you can see it actually wants to go straight. So I was kind of hoping it would still turn left, but you can still see now, even now, it wants to go straight until it then decides, okay, left is okay. So I take over because I don't want to go straight from this left turn lane. So these kind of mistakes, unfortunately, are still present also in version 10. The next scene that's coming up is actually one where the system acted great. So you can see now we're going into the right lane, right? Everything's fine, we turn on the blinker, and as soon as we exit this curve here, there is actually a truck, and immediately the system puts the blinker to the left, and it did a little swerve here, but nothing huge, and it passes that truck and does so very confidently. I'm pretty sure in previous versions the car would have slowed down and maybe come to a stop behind the truck before switching lanes. So this is, to me, clearly an improvement. Very natural move here. And here we're coming up to the last one for today. This is a stop where we have to turn left. There are cars coming from the left and the right, somewhat visible at the late stage because it's like in a hilly area. And we're waiting for this car. There's another truck coming from the left. There are cars coming from the right. And the car is creeping forward here, does a beautiful job. Again, creeping a little bit, car coming from the left. There's going to be another car coming now from the left, so we got to wait. Creeping a little bit more. Now there is one more car coming from the right, turning into our lane actually. And now the car decides to go. And there is actually a car coming from the left. So let's have a look at this in slow motion. You can see here the car turning, and watch the visualization of the road to the left when the car is occluding our view. The road seems to disappear here, and right after this car clears, the view is back on as before, and that's about the moment when my car decides to go. Now, of course, that's a very obvious theory that I have seen based on the visualizations and everything. But maybe you guys have better ideas or other ideas. Let me know in the comments. I would be curious to hear about them. I went then back again to the same intersection, and I wanted to try this again. So let's have a last look at this intersection. So here we are again. There's again a couple of cars coming from the left and from the right. So a very similar scenario. And now the intersection is clear and the car creeps a little bit more and then decides to go. So this was actually the perfect maneuver, the perfect behavior, and it made this successfully. So the car is definitely capable of doing and handling scenarios, situations like these. I don't know what the difference made now between the first and the second try. Maybe it is that occlusion, maybe it's a different reason. So these are the things I wanted to show in this video. Thank you so much for watching. There's going to be more quick bits in the future, and also I'm going to do my test route any time or any day soon now. So stay tuned. If you want to see that and get notified, please consider subscribing. It would be great so that you get notifications when I publish those videos. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.